Methodologies may be different. What I mean, the methods that you use to actualize a thing may be different from the method I use. But there are some basic principles to wealth creation that remain the same over ages, over time. And everyone that has ever become successful, one way or the other, consciously or unconsciously, follow this principle. And these are the same principles that are being taught by Akkad and explained in the book called The Richest Man in Babylon. It is important for you to note that no matter where you are on the success ladder, you might be among the poor, you might be among the almost extinct class called the middle class, or you might be amongst the rich. There's something for everyone to learn as far as this book is concerned. You might decide from this learning to begin to toe the path of success and become more successful. And you can decide also to follow the route of the man, the great mentor Akkad, and begin to teach and train people on how to be successful. You are successful, yes, but many are the poor that are around you in your village, in your community. It's not about you handing them money. It's not about you handing them stipends. It's not about you handing them incentives. But can you teach them some basic principles that will help them to leave that level and become more successful? Well, this is part of what we're going to talk in the mentorship aspect. But today, we want to look at the 7 cures to a lean pot as explained by Akkad in The Richest Man in Babylon. I hope you want to listen to this. It might bring about a big turnaround in your finances. Let's meet on the other side.
Waking up at dawnlight, breaking through, chasing dreams, no time to lose. In this race we strive and grind, motivation fuels the mind. Gonna rise up, we won't fall, breaking barriers through it all. Step by step our journey's clear, success is closer, don't you fear. Challenges we face headstrong, in this rhythm we belong. Skies are high, but so are we, building castles where we're free. Gonna rise up, we won't fall.
You're welcome back. How often have you checked your account balance and you are not happy about it? How often have you checked inside your wallet, your purse? You search the whole house and you are not happy about the result. Do you know that that is a disease? Poverty is a disease. Lack of finance is a disease. And the only thing that can cure it are you. And the only cure for it is you following some basic fundamental principles that will help you. It might not be as lean as others, but then if you look at it that you want your finance to be better than what it is now, then you have to look inwards and pay attention to everything that we're going to be talking about in this. The 7 cures to a lean pot is the must listen for everyone. And not only just listening, but you taking action for each step that you found yourself wanting. I want you to pay attention. On this note, I want to say a big thank you to as many that has been with us on this journey. This is our 42nd edition out of 90 that we go into. And you can imagine how much load of information. I have no doubt that your life is already transformed. But for you who is just coming in contact with this video for the first time, I want to say thank you for checking in. Click on the subscribe button and click on the like button so that you can get notification on future videos, and also you'll be able to watch the previous videos. We've been talking a lot on goal setting, how to set a budget for yourself, for your family, how to control your expenses, and how to prepare what to call your emergency reserve fund, and so lots more. You want to check out all this. Is a pack load of financial intelligence knowledge. Of course, the theme of the training has been financial intelligence for smart parents. In a couple of weeks, we'll be looking into more specific things, more areas that you need to know to help you to make money, manage money, and also multiply money. Let's now go into today's training. We started the review on the book, The Richest Man in Babylon. Now, the book, just like we said, is something that you need to go get. As you read it, you should be able to pass it on to your children also. This is a book that was written many years ago, but the principles remain the same. In fact, a lot of books that you read today on finances took their basis from this book, and that is why you need to read it. But we understand very well, because of the very busy nature of people and our inability to sit down to read, I think we just want to do a review. So spend time, take time to listen to this. Listen to the first one. In the first part, we talked about the chapter 1 and chapter 2. In this part, in this edition, we're going to be talking about the chapter 3, 7 cures to lean purses. This story started when the king noticed something very important, and the trend was becoming dangerous. Everyone in the country was seemingly poor, and the money was in the hands of very few individuals. So some people went to meet the king and said, "King, there's something wrong, there's something going on. Most of our people are getting poorer and poorer every day, but there are some that are just getting richer in the midst of it all." And then the king looked and said, "What could be the reason for this? Why are some people getting richer and some people getting poorer?" Let me ask you, is this not the same thing in our society today? In the population, about only 5% of the entire population seems to have the wealth of the whole population. And it seems that 95% of the people are working for that 5%. Are you among that 5%? Now, it's possible that you are not there, and it's possible that you are there. But if you want to be there, then you need to listen to what this man had to say. Then it was suggested by the counselor that let's get one of the rich people that could come to explain to us what is happening and how other persons can become rich. So, who is the best person to call? The man called Akkad, the richest man in Babylon. He came to the king. He explained. The king explained the situation to him, and he smiled and he said he was willing to help the king. You that you are rich, are you willing to help the government of your country to help people get out of poverty? And he said he's going to take some days to teach. They should put together 100 men, and he's going to teach them how to get. He was not born rich, he was born poor also, but he's going to teach them the things that he did to get out of the situation. So let's go to the presentation and see the richest man in Babylon. What is the cure to a lean purse? What is the cure to poverty? You must know it and know it's good enough to be able to help others to get out of poverty. Here we go. The richest man in Babylon, timeless lessons on wealth. In this edition, we are going to be looking at understanding how to escape financial struggles using the Babylonian wisdom. Have you ever wondered why some people always seem to have money while others struggle? Let's uncover these 7 ancient wealth secrets that will work today as it has ever worked in the past. You might be wondering, you've really worked hard, but you are not just getting ahead. Let's look at the solution to this. The number 1 cure to a lean purse is start thy purse to fattening. What it's trying to say is this: begin to save. You have to start it somehow. You have to start it even today. And how? In most cases, persons will tell you, this money that I'm even collecting is not enough. Talk less of saving. I tell you, if you have that mentality, you will remain in that financial situation for the rest of your life. No matter, even when some kind of miracle money comes your way, it will find its way out of your hands if you don't learn this aspect. And what do you need to do? The moment you earn an income, no matter how small, the first thing you have to do is pay yourself first. Take it out. Take minimum of 10% of that amount and take it out to an account, a savings account or an investment account. When you hear somebody says, when somebody says the money is too small for me to save, then I want to ask you, assuming you get to the office and your boss tells you, said, we cannot maintain the salary that we've been paying. We have to reduce the salary that we are paying, and thereby, if you are receiving 100,000, you will no longer receive 100,000, you will receive 80,000 naira. Or you can no longer receive 1 million, you will receive 800,000. My question to you is this: will you resign from that job immediately? I probably guess you will get home and tell your spouse, and the first thing she will tell you or he will tell you is this: well, we will just manage, we will just adjust. Now the question is, why are you not able to manage and adjust yourself? Take out that 10%. We use 10% now, it might be more than that. Let me tell you this: there's no amount of money that is enough for anyone. The money seems never to be enough. Just look at every one of us, or a couple of guys, they gather together and they say, we are broke, we are broke. When he was receiving 100,000, he said he's broke. Now he's receiving 150,000, he is broke. Do you know what? The reality and the truth is this: it cannot be enough. It can never be enough. You will hear everyone asking, I need more. So what do you need to do? Take that discipline. Just imagine if you have been saving just 10% of whatsoever you have been earning over the last 5 years. What do you think is going to happen? We said it in the first edition. We said it in the first part of this review, and this is coming as the number one again in this. So take it as a serious work. Take it as a serious thing to focus on. The number 2 cure is control thy expenditure. Live below your means. When you say control your expenditure, it's so simple. Now, the thing is, everybody has to spend. Remember, in our trainings, we've talked about how to put up budget for yourself. You hear somebody will say, I don't want to live my life under strict listening to myself. Am I not the one that made the money? I will spend it the way I want to spend it. I tell you, you are on your way to penury. If you cannot discipline yourself to track your expense, you might not be as good in this Excel, in the application, but can you take the pain, just like the Japanese system, that you will write down every expense that you want to make before you go out in a day? You write out everything that you want to spend money on. Write it out. If you don't write it out, if it is not written, it's not going to be spent. Put it down. This is what I'm going to spend my money on. Control your expenditure. You must understand that what you do not control will control you. And that is why you have to control that expenditure. It is funny to always hear something. People say, I received money, but I don't even know how my money went. It is a sign of irresponsibility. So what you need to do, you might not be able to get the application. We have an application that we have given. We have a budget template that you can even see at the end of this presentation in the description box. But let's say you don't even have that. What you can do every morning before you leave, before you go out, write out what you want to spend money on. And one thing that you must know is this: what we call our necessary expenditure will always grow to equal our incomes unless we protect it to the contrary. You see, at a point in time in my life, I was getting an income and I felt that income was much, I thought any additional income, I will go and save it. But you know what? When the income increased, wow, that was when I realized this environment that I'm staying is not best for me. I have to look for a better environment. And you know what? cost of living in the new environment matched up with my income. Car is not befitting. I need a better car. The cost of the new car matched up with my income. Oh, my children are not going to, this is not this kind of school that my colleagues' children are going to. They need to go to a better school. The rise in expenditure matched up to my income. You must be able to control your expenditure. When it comes to expenses, let your motto be 100% appreciated value for every single penny that leaves your pocket. What is the value that I'm gaining from this expenditure? As I said, you can go to the description box and download the budget template that can help you to put down your budget. If not, make sure you are writing it, tracking it. What you have not tracked will track you down. Number 3, make thy gold multiply. That is, invest wisely. Money must not and should not sit idle in your account. It must work to generate more wealth. The money that you are having, it's often funny when you see people say, I have about 10 million in my account. Is that 10 million meant for expenses? If it is not meant for your expenses, what is it sitting down doing in your account? What is it doing? What is it sitting down doing under your bed? That money should be working for you. And how do you do it? You need to look for what to invest in. In today's world, we have the stock market, we have the real estate. You can even see businesses and opportunities to put in this money. Ladies and gentlemen, the money that works for you, just like Akkad said, he said, your money is gold. Your gold should bear children, and the children of your children should bear you more children. Let me show you something when it comes to investment. Let's look at this compound interest calculator. You know, Albert Einstein said, compounding is the 7th wonder of the world. And if you don't see it in action, you might not appreciate its worth. Now, the website, you can always get that link, compounddaily.org. Let's look at this calculator here. Let's assume that 5 years ago, you decided that you want to put 100,000 naira maybe in a mutual fund account or in an investment vehicle, just 100,000. Now, the interest rate in the recent time, let's just make an assumption that the interest rate is about 15% per annum. Presently, we have mutual funds doing above 20%, but we must know that it is not always the same. But let's just use this simple assumption. Now, the compounding frequency, we are going to use annually. That is going to be an annual compound thing. I want to do it for the next 10 years. Just look at this. Now, the other assumption that we want to do is that every year you want to put in 100. Every year in that account, you always want to top that account up with just 100,000. And also, the payment frequency is yearly. If you start, let's say if you start today and we look at it for the next 10 years, you started an investment of 100,000 on the 19th of February 2025. Your principal amount grew by 2,434,927. So by 19th of February 2035, this is the interest, this is the amount that your money would have grown into. Ladies and gentlemen, your net profit for the 10 years period was 1.3 million. Just look at how it grew. 100,000 in 2025. You injected another 100,000 in 2026, another 100,000 in 2027 with the rate of interest just at 15%. Look at what you have in that period. Can you imagine if you have done this in the last 10 years, but the next good time for you to do it is now? Let me put aside 10,000 naira monthly. At the end of every year, I will have put in about 120,000 naira. And in this cooperative, I can have access to times 2 of my deposit. So hence, I'm going to have about 240,000 naira in the cooperative that I can take up as a loan. I take that money as a loan from the cooperative, interest-free loan for Rich Vision. Now I put it in the market, maybe in a mutual funds account, which is giving about 20% returns. Now annually, this becomes, I put at an annual interest rate of about 20%. I'm not going to be withdrawing the returns. I will allow it to compound over the period of 10 years. And every year, I want to try as much as possible to inject the same amount. Annually, by the time it is 10 years, let me click on this calculate. Let's look at what will that money become. 240,000. I'm talking about 10,000 naira monthly, which makes 120,000. And you have access to a place where you can collect times 2 of that money. That means you have about 240,000. Look at in 10 years, look at what your money becomes, about 7.7 million naira. Now, if you started this for your son, if you started this for your daughter, how beautiful will it be that this child can have access, even though you don't have that money in bulk, but that child can have access to this kind of money now. This is something that investment will help you to do with the right fund. Let your money work for you. The fourth cure to a lean purse is guard thy treasures from losses. Avoid risky investment. Akkad warns against get-rich-quick schemes. Remember, in the story, he said the first time that he was able to save his money, he ensured that a tenth of whatever he was earning, he was saving. And at the end, he took the money and went to a bricklayer who said he was traveling to get some precious stone. What does a bricklayer know about precious stone? Don't give your money to people that do not know about it. So in today's world, what do? Avoid Ponzi schemes. Do research before investing. You see anything that, this thing, once the interest promise is too high, you better get into it to know more about it. It is not impossible for you to see investment that could give you 100% returns in 2 weeks, in 1 month. It is possible in this era of the crypto and everything. But you must know that the higher the return, the higher the risk. So you want to be careful. Where am I putting in my money? You know, when one was younger, for me, my appetite for risk is very high. I trade the forex market, and the forex market gives you good returns. But at the same time, the way it gives good returns, it takes away a lot from you when it will really take money from you. So, but when I met a particular friend who started telling me, come, can we just make, even if it's 2%, even if it is 5% in a month, it is okay. You know, I felt it was too small when this market could give me that kind of more than that. And then I started to follow this man because he had a tool that can help you do that conservative amount. The banks cannot give you that kind of rates. So, and that was when I became a profitable trader. For those of you that will be interested in that one, don't worry. In the community, if you mention Forex and you can type in a comment Forex, I can, introduce that to you and you can get that. That is one avenue where people invest their money. Another place where you can invest your money, you might not be good at all these other things. Maybe there's a guy in your area who is selling things. Look at, you have maybe one maker in your area who has a grocery store. You can approach the person and ask, if you have more money to expand your store, will you want to do it? The man say yes. How much would you need to expand your business? If I can see 100,000 naira, this is what I will do. And you sit down and negotiate with the person. If I give you 100,000, how much will you give me on monthly basis? And then you go meet that person, you sit down, you write an agreement, bring a witness, bring another witness, make it a formal agreement and sign. Make sure that it is signed and you have an agreement between the two of you. Give that person 100,000. At the end of the month, you meet and ask, can I have it? The person gives you the return on that. It's not every one of us that we go to the stock market. It's not every one of us that we go to different business. You might not even start your own business. Just meet somebody, partner with someone who is already in business, and the best business needs more funds. Invest in that business and you'll be surprised how your money will grow. I tell you, that is one simple way to increase your finances. All right. Having said that, let's look at the fifth cure to a lean purse. He said, make thy dwelling a profitable investment. He said, own property. We cannot overemphasize this. In this time, the property market is getting so big. And as an individual, one thing that you must do at your early stage is to look at how to invest in the real estate. Own your own property. Have your own house. And when you are having your own house, just like we said, owning your own house does not make it an asset for you, but when you put it to profitable use. So how do you put that house, how do you put that land to profitable use? You can just, when you are building your house, just make sure that you have investments in your mind. Make sure that you have it in your mind that you want to make this house to become an asset. It can become an asset. Just look at the space behind your house. You don't have to put interlocking in everything. You can put up a small garden there. You can put up a small poultry there. You can create a small snailry there where you can begin to rear snail that you can sell. You can even put up a small fish pond around that area. Ensure that you put up, and then if that land does not have enough space, can you create an office space for yourself in that house? So putting up a small office in that house where you can conduct your business has converted that house from just being an ordinary living space to become a place that generates you some income, financial intelligence, other opportunities. You can go for these rent to own programs and other things so that you can just own your own house. It is important in that 7th cure. The number 6 cure to a lean purse is ensure a future income. Plan for retirement. ACAD emphasizes on preparing for old age and securing income. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the ways you can prepare for your old age is to prepare and join a pension scheme. Also, you can pay, take up insurance policy. A lot of people leave the world, they change address to the other side, and they leave their families in agony because they have not made any preparation for them. If you make preparation so that your loved one will not just cry when you leave, why don't you take up insurance policy to guide and protect your family even after your demise? You might look that is this, but it will happen. How much have you prepared for it? Also, it is important that you create passive income streams for yourself. Get into businesses, get into opportunities. Your work cannot give you passive income. That is why you must think entrepreneurship. Think of a business that you can do, that you can hand over to your children, and your children can as well hand over to their own children. That is the 6th cure to a lean purse. It is very, very important. The 7th and the final cure to a lean purse is increase thy ability to earn, which means upgrade skills and knowledge. Continuous learning and self-improvement leads to more income. Lots of persons are working in a place where they are paid a low income and they know it is not enough, and they are there 5 years, 7 years, 10 years. They are not doing anything to significantly upgrade themselves to improve their income. Nobody is doing you, you are doing yourself. What you need to do, begin to see what skill can I upgrade myself in. You can take courses, learn high income skills, start a side hustle. You might say you don't have enough money to start a course or to attend expensive courses, but I tell you, go online. We have sites like Udemy, Coursera, where you can pay even as low as 7,000 naira to learn any course that you want to learn. Begin to upgrade yourself. These are the 7 cures for a lean purse according to ancient wisdom. What are the takeaways for this session? Save first, spend later. Start today, 10%, 20% as God helps you to. Make sure you save first before you spend. Invest smartly. Avoid scams. Everything that it promises you, unnecessary profits and things, be careful. Get expert advice before you go into them. Own assets, not just liabilities. You can turn your house to become an asset by using it to generate funds for you. Plan for the future. Never stop learning. So, as we wrap up, I have these questions for you. Which of these 7 cures do you struggle with the most? Please, can you answer it? Put it in the comment section. Which of these 7 cures do you struggle with? I tell you, I've always said the act of typing these things in kind of registers it in your subconscious mind, and it will help you to overcome it. How can you start saving 10% of your income today? Minimum, when we say 10%, is the minimum. You can save more than that. So how do you start it? Can you put it in the comment section? Let's see, maybe we can share some knowledge together. And what is your next investment goal? You must set the goal. Without goals, there won't be any achievement. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say a big thank you. Before we conclude, I want to encourage you. If you think this has been a very good training and you have gained something from it, why don't you click on the like and the subscribe button? Subscribe now and also click on the like so that you can share. The algorithm will help us to share this video to as many persons that need it. And be intentional about sharing this channel with other people for them to learn from this great resource. So, wealth is built step by step. Start applying these cures today. Commit to at least one action today. Save, invest, and learn a skill. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say a big thank you for you hanging on with us on this session. I've been looking forward to read from you the great progress that you have made from this learning that you have gotten today. Surely, I have no doubt you will succeed. I want you to put it in the chat box. I will succeed, and you will indeed succeed. Once again, he's your friend and partner, Olushola Bobola. Thank you.
Waking up at dawn, light breaking through, chasing dreams, no time to lose. In this race we strive and grind, motivation fuels the mind. Gonna rise up, we won't fall, breaking barriers through it all. Step by step our journey's clear, success is closer, don't you fear. Challenges we face headstrong, in this rhythm